Hello everybody, it's Aaron. Welcome to another episode of Feed the Beast. Before we get started, somebody left a comment on the last video. I believe his name is David Dickerson, wanting to know how the latch worked with the memory cells, or rather the redstone energy cells, so your engines don't run constantly. There are a couple ways to do this. This is the way that Sam does it. Both ways require an RS latch, which is a nifty little red power thing. You can also make it in vanilla, but this is a lot more compact. So basically how it works is, he has two energy cells. This energy cell is fed by the engines, and this energy cell is fed by this energy cell. You put a structure pipe and a gate on each. This one says when it's full of energy, trip the latch, and this one says when it's empty, trip the latch. So the engines only run when, well, they turn off when this one's full, and they turn on when this one's empty. Mine is similar, but I only use one energy cell for it. Let me just open this up a little. I have the same latch. That was a bug. You saw both of his inputs were on over there. That's a bug. Basically, I have two gates, one on one side, one on the other. And this one says when it's full, give a redstone signal, which will trip the latch and turn the engines off. This one says when it's empty, give a redstone signal. It trips the latch and kicks the engines on. The thing about this is this latch, it's a kind of a memory cell, so you can turn this redstone signal on and off as many times as you want. This side is going to stay hot until that side gets a redstone signal. So basically that's an output and this is an output, but we're only using one output for this because that's all we really need. So that's the gist of that. Hopefully that was a good enough explanation. If not, I can do a little mini tutorial to set the thing up and show you guys how it works. I actually recorded an episode already and I decided to get rid of it. And here's why. I thought it would be neat to power the AE system with industrial craft energy, EU. And I didn't want to do it with geothermal because, you know, we've already done geothermal. I've used it for everything almost. Well, here's the problem. The way I have this set up, it's actually a bunch of export buses with charcoal. If we tick this little box, you know, move single items, move stacks, this means it will craft the item if you have a recipe in the energy thing, the modular assembler thing. So it wasn't keeping up. So right now I have switched back to MJ for this. But this is basically 12 generators feeding an MFE. And the reason I scrapped that design is because if you look at how much energy we're using, 76 units, that's while this isn't even doing anything. The reason is because I have a similar setup upstairs, and I'm using the jetpack right now because I had some things, if I can even fly the damn thing. It's easier to show this way. I'm doing these with planks. Well, I don't have a ton of planks in the system, so every time this needs a plank, that modular assembler thing has to craft it and then send it down the pipe. And every item is one energy unit, give or take. So this is the same setup, except it's 13 generators on an MFE because I have an industrial blast furnace and stuff up there. And if you don't have enough power, the thing just like stops and you don't get anything for your work. That's neither here nor there. So I was trying to get creative with this. I was trying to use applied energistics to do what it's supposed to do, but I'm not generating enough EU at the present time to do something like that. I need to be generating 128 EU consistently, and that's you know, unless I use geothermal, that's really not a reality right now. So I've got to use what I have right now. I do have one solar panel. That's good for 1 EU, which is basically nothing. So let me get down here. I'll just show you this room. I've built a room over here. It is on this side of the courtyard, right by the tree farm. I hollowed it out with the filler. And I put all my stuff in the wall, basically. I've got my industrial electrolyzer doing its thing. I need the titanium to make the matter fabricator. I cannot upgrade my solar panels without UU matter. It's a recipe. So I can make the basic one, no big deal. I can make these out of the silicon cells, or silicone or silicon, whatever. This one, this is no big deal. This thing right here takes a cenarium part, which is a glowstone and 2 UU matter. So I have to have a matter fab to make UU matter, or else I'm going to be putting so many of these around, and I really don't want to make more than I can upgrade at a time. So the hybrid is a little more advanced. None of this stuff is really that bad. Iridium plate, maybe I have to make another machine. This thing, yeah, so we're going to need UU matter going forward for all the Gregtech stuff. I just have the basics right here. The blast furnace was a pain. This thing was really a pain, but I got it done. And now it's all good. And this one wasn't too bad, but it takes a really long time to do everything in this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tear the generators down. I'm going to bring probably 7 geothermals and an MFE dedicated to this blast furnace. And then probably, see, this one runs on MV. This one runs on LV. I actually blew one up and had to remake it. I'm going to put another few geothermals over here, probably with an MFE and a transformer, just to run this thing and run this thing. So probably, what did I say, 7 geos for this. And then I'm not sure how I want to run the power for the matter fabricator and the recycler. Recyclers don't take much. I think that you can use nickelite instead of scrap in the matter fabricator. I'm going to try that. If I can, I'm all over that because, you know, we have a ton of nickelite. But this thing right here, I just want to see the difference with that thing crafting all the time. I want to say it added like 30 units, which is fairly significant. So we're at 76 right now. Let's just cut this cable. And we drop down to 50 right away. So I'm not sure if anything is still crafting. I am running the quarry right now, so things are going through the pipes downstairs. I don't think I showed you guys this. I did set up 3 more interfaces, and I made a recipe in each one. If I need refined iron, the system will automatically send iron to this interface, and it'll get cooked, and then an import bus pulls it out. Same thing with sand for glass. And then this one is the one on the pulverizer. It's an extra pulverizer. If I need coal dust for anything, pulverized obsidian or sand, it sends the necessary ingredients. And then I made a recipe for hardened glass. So if I don't have any pulverized obsidian, it'll get pulverized and then it'll get shot over here with a lead ingot. And I set up another powered furnace to make charcoal for those 12 generators. But as I said, that's not going to be a thing because it's too much of a strain on the system for the power I'm giving it, and I want to do this probably the most efficient way possible, and right now that is geothermal power. You can see the little blinks of light. That thing is pulling a log and crafting it into planks like at least every second or faster. I don't know. So Gregtech is a pain, I'm not going to lie. The biggest pain, and I'll show you this, is, okay, we have to make a matter fabricator. Energy flow circuit. You have 2 recipes, not a big deal. I happen to have 4 shiny ingots, and I have some pulsating chipsets. Lapatron crystals aren't really that bad. It's 2 circuits. I didn't know I could use a sapphire instead of an energy crystal, so I'll be using this recipe. So that's not that bad. This recipe's not that bad. This one, tungsten and all this other stuff, iridium plate. I don't have a ton of iridium. But the highly advanced machine block, titanium and chrome. And I think chrome, you have to throw ruby dust in the centrifuge or the electrolyzer, and then you get chrome dust, kind of like I'm getting titanium dust from the bauxite right now. So it's just a lot of steps. And which one was it? Not this, no, it wasn't the centrifuge, the electrolyzer. You have to make an extractor, an electrolyzer, and a magnetizer, which I didn't even know existed. That's got to be a new thing. So you have to make all of these things, and it's just so much crafting, which is why I didn't do it in an episode, because that would not be a very fun episode. So that's what I'm working on. I thought that would be a really neat way to get, to get power to what we needed to power. But in the end, it's probably using more power than is necessary to accomplish that given task. So I've almost got enough titanium. How much do I need? I think I need 8 ingots because each, no, it's not the teleporter. I need 4 for each. So I need 8 titanium, 8 chrome. And the rest of this stuff isn't that bad, except the iridium plate. Apparently, I'm going to have to make the implosion compressor. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Stop the press. Iridium plate. I have to put an iridium alloy ingot in the implosion compressor, and that takes 4 iridium ingots and diamond dust. So that's going to take 4 iridium just to make this plate. I'm not happy about that, but that's alright. We have a little bit of iridium. You can never have enough of that stuff. But you got your tiny piles, 4 of which make a regular one. So I'm halfway for the titanium, and then I've got to do this and get the chrome. Now, one of the big problems is I can't blast furnace while I am electrolyzing or centrifuging, because these are all hooked up to the same power. And if this is not full when the industrial blast furnace starts, or if it doesn't become full at some point, the thing won't work right. So I guess I could start the blast furnace and then start this thing, but it's better to just run them separately. Wuss, come back here. Where'd you go? We do have a nice little view over here. I happened to clear out the side of the mountain. Wasn't really sure how to dress this up. This is all the industrial machines, so how I was thinking about I'll just use conduit to illustrate instead. What I think I'm going to do, since I'm going to use geothermal for the power, I'm going to use an export bus for the recycler and mass fabricator. And we'll set this up hopefully in the next episode. But basically, they're too close together, but that's no big deal. Basically, I'm going to put an export bus with cobblestone or whatever for the recycler, and then an import bus and pull it back into the system. And then all the scrap will go out an export bus into the matter fabricator, and then an import bus will pull out the UU matter and put it in the system. So I'm not going to have to worry about Buildcraft pipes or red power tubes or anything like that. I'm going to do all of that stuff since it's basically inventory management. I'm going to let Applied Energistics do that, because that's what it's for, I think. So, what am I sitting at time-wise? 16 minutes of rambling. Let's go back downstairs. I want to make a Mistcraft portal back and forth between that IC2 room, but I really don't know where to put it. I really have no idea, honestly, where to put it. I did change the way the things come in here. I'm voiding all of the stuff I don't want, all the Zycraft stuff, dirt, cobble, and gravel on the other side. And this is now directly on top of the sorting machine. I think what I'm going to do, I've got these as an overflow. There's a restriction tube. So if this interface fills up, then everything will get kicked over here. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an item tesseract, and I'm going to void everything that I don't want on this side, so that when I go move the quarry, all I have to throw down is a tesseract for the items, a tesseract for the energy, and the quarry, and that's it. So I'll only have to set it up once over here, wherever it goes, and then I just set up the power and stuff on the other side. So that'll make it a lot easier. I made a couple of monitors for the processors because that's something that I make manually, and I need to know how many are in there. I had 91 of these earlier today, and now I have 65, so I'm using more of those than I thought I would, but that's okay. Let's do this while I'm thinking about it. I've got all these recipes in here. Let me show you what's craftable. We can craft all of these things and all of their pieces. So, well, we can't craft the hybrid solar panel. Sam put that in there for me, and the scenarium and stuff. But I made one for the solar panel, a geothermal, a generator. I think I made one for the MFE. So if anything's missing, like if we need refined iron for the MFE, the system will cook it up, and we'll just have to wait a little longer. But let me go ahead and grab, we'll see if we got enough for 10 of these. Probably going to need at least 10. I got 9 of them, which isn't bad. If we go over here, it has to cook up some glass. So right now, the system is sending sand to that interface on the powered furnace downstairs, and as soon as it has the 4 glass, then we have our 10th geothermal generator. So I've got a big lava tank still upstairs. I have another geo in here, and I'll probably just leave that there. I may make another tank and kind of move it because I need it to be closer to the actual generators. So I'll probably end up maybe making a tank in the wall in this corner, but I'm not really sure actually how far away. The tank is just right there, so I may actually just run a liquiduct through the ground, since liquiducts are pretty cheap, until that thing is empty, and then I'll move the tank like into the side of the mountain over here. Or maybe, let's see, That's the big Whopper room. If you guys are old enough to remember the movie War Games, that computer called the Whopper, that's what I call that room. So I may have enough room for a tank over here. I'm not sure, but we definitely need to get some more power over here. So I'm going to work on that. I'm going to probably go ahead and either make the matter fabricator or craft all the pieces to make the matter fabricator. And then next episode, we will make it and we'll set that up. We'll give it power. We're going to have to give it its own power. So I'm thinking what I may do is use these generators, and we have like 23,000 coal in the system. So I may just use coal for that. Not really sure, but I don't want to use lava for everything, which is why I was trying to get creative with this stuff. So I think that's going to do it for this episode. It's really hard to do an episode with Gregtech unless you're going to craft everything step by step, and that's really tedious, probably boring for you guys, and it'll make for a really long episode, which I'm not too fond of myself, so I'm kind of just trying to give you the rundown. Once we get the matter fabricator going, and I can upgrade, like, probably, let me look at my solar panels again. If I could get, I'm not really sure, I think this one's MV. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's 64 or 128. But once I get one of these, I'll dedicate it to the matter fabricator so it can just run on that all the time. And then we'll get some more solar going to run our AE system, so we can get off Buildcraft power for that. But it's kind of like, I got to do this to do that, and do that to do that, and this to do that, and then I have to go back to step 1 to do the other thing, and very tedious. So that's going to do it for this episode. If you guys have any suggestions, by all means, please leave them down below. Questions, comments as well. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.